supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the checks. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with the tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hater. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up. I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you. I'm a coach now. Commentating do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. And give an F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood, I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route that's seen it. I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
I actually interviewed Darius Cooks on my radio show. Might have been 5 or 6 years ago before he blew up on social media. And just as was just articulated, he actually went on Periscope Live during the radio show. It did his own show in the studio during the show that he was supposed to be on. But he's a narcissistic individual. And because of that, he's had many of these run-ins. I think there was a scandal a few years ago where he was doing fake credit repair for people and got sued. His restaurant got closed down, those sorts of things. So he maintains these online scams, preying on the hearts and minds of his followers, and even just articulated after our show, because we tend to ridicule people when they active on our show. He actually went on Periscope Live to talk about me and our producer and some of the other guests after the show. So this has been going on for a long period of time. Now, legally, when somebody talks about you online, that's just talk. But once they get into the place of making threats, either violence, threatening to release personal information, well, that's where you can actually file a criminal report against this individual. And if they do release improper or censored information, personal information that is privileged, that absolutely, you can report that to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or to the Federal Bureau of Investigations for them to look into it, particularly if you have multiple individuals who are involved in this.
What's up, good Vipo? Good, what is this, Thursday evening? Happy Thursday evening. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing shame. Shame, because it is obvious that at least one of John Amos's children are trying to take advantage of a legend, a man who has really lived a wonderful life and added to many of our lives through his work. And this is getting crazy, y'all. So much so that this is my third time talking to y'all about it in a week, less than a week. And so I'm coming to y'all tonight because there was new information that I ran into this morning. And I was going to do a pre-recorded video on it. And I was like, forget it. Let's just go live. I know y'all like to interact and all of that. And it's a little easier on me. It's just that I had to rush to try to get this out. So I got my notes and stuff, but everything's not as tight as I like. Y'all know I'm a perfectionist. Y'all know, I got OCD and all that good stuff. And so I got a little anxiety because everything's not as perfect as I want it to be as I go through the timeline. But I'm going to treat it like we're at, it's kitchen table talk, and I'll hit it back with a pre-recorded video where I could be more concise. But thank you to everyone who's letting me know that you can hear me by typing shame in the chat. We got Precious G, Sweet Diva, Tales World Beauty, Donna, Monique, Marcy, CR, Alice, Renee, Paradox, Munda, his MJ, Marlena, and many, 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 many more. And I thank all of you for letting me know that you can hear me in the chat. Also, thank you to, why did this number drop though? I'm ending the poll. Thank you to the, it was 90% when I first looked at it. It's now only 89%. I don't know how we lost 1%, but thank you to the 89% of you who have hit that thumbs up or like button on your way in. Please remember to do that. That is your way of helping me out here, since this is for free on your end. And it's greatly appreciated because it definitely helps this channel grow and helps me in many, many ways. And also, me playing that trailer really had nothing to do with today's content. I needed a little bit more time because I was trying to handle a couple little things and calm my nerves at the same time. And but then I thought about it, I was like, it's appropriate because I was gonna ask how many of you, first poll, y'all know I love these polls, and some of y'all do too. I've been seeing that in the chat. Here comes our first poll of the evening. I'm sorry, well, technically our second poll of the evening, and we got quite a few. I went a little crazy. How many of you have watched my live stream on the other channel, the Reality Chronicles channel, where I broke down Darius Crook's lies regarding outing that supposedly, allegedly guy earlier this week? It was quite a few of the Veeple family over there who, did I send that? Yeah, did I send it? Oh, I haven't sent it. Hold on, y'all. Oh, some of this is covered up. Here we go. Why is it doing that? Hold on, y'all. Oh, it said my question too long. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know the question. So basically, have you watched my breakdown? Ignore any typos or whatever. I'm just trying. It's still saying it's too long. Get out of here with that. Here we go. Question mark. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I can't have more than 100 characters. This thing is really... I keep accidentally hitting the wrong button. Okay, here we go. There we go. Here it comes now. Finally. Jesus. Bear with me, y'all. This kitchen table talk. We just hanging out. But anyway, let me know in this poll if you have watched it. I'm definitely coming back because there's some other nuances. There are some other situations that tie into this and that sort of behavior. And I was like, let's just, do a deep dive. So we'll be back with more on that and many more, much more. Y'all already know how we do over here. Okay, 79% of you, so far at least, 79% of you have seen it. If you have not, did I put the link in there? Hold on. That's what I was supposed to be doing while I was doing that. Here's the link to the... Oh, bear with me. Here we go. Copy, then paste. Here's the link to that video. It'll take you directly to the video over there. Check it out if you have not. Watch it again too. And then also let me know, do you believe that John Amos, at least one of them, we don't know which one yet. Well, people have their theories, but it hasn't been proven 100% which of his children are taking advantage of him or attempting to, but it is clear that that is something very, very wrong over there. And so I'm known, maybe because the numbers are going up. I'm like, why is the poll numbers going down? But it's 64% of you now who said that you saw the video. So yeah, check it out. The link is in the description below. So after this, you'll be thoroughly entertained. Those of you who were there in that live stream, let them know in the chat how great of a time we had over there with our informed, receipt-filled shenanigans. That's how we operate over here. We give the facts, but we give it with shenanigans. Okay, here's an... Okay, good. That works. Let me know, do you think one of John Amos's children, like it's one of them, it's either the daughter Shannon or the son KC. All we know is that there's some shenanigans going on over there in a horrible way, because this is his sunset years. He should be being taken care of by his children the way that he took care of them and loving on him, and he should have peace. And as we get into it, you're going to hear him say himself, he does not have peace right now. And that's just a horrible situation to hear about, but for him to be in. And so I'm going to update. So the update that I do have is that at least as of today, John Amos is reportedly still in the Memphis area hospital, and his son and daughter have taken to social media, and the infighting has really gotten ratchet. That with basically each of them appearing to try to outdo each other with receipts. And I'll let you guys, excuse me, I'll let you guys decide. Excuse me. I'll let you decide who you think by the end of this is the guilty party. We're going to do the court of public opinion over here. And everything is alleged because I don't really know. All I know is what's out there, and I'll give y'all the clips of what's out there, and then we'll take it from there. So viewer discretion is advised on some of the upcoming gut-wrenching images that I do have to show you. So I will give a heads up when that time comes for you to close your eyes, cover your eyes, go take a quick restroom break or whatever. But just know that there may be some things that maybe just a little sensitive to for some people visually. And let's see what the poll is saying. Then, of course, y'all know I got another one. Then I'm moving into the story. Do you believe that one of John Amos's children took advantage of him? 95% of you said yes. 5% said no. I'm always curious of the outliers. So this 5%, could y'all, whoever is a part of this 5%, please let me know in the chat what made you say no with all that is going on. And please, moderators, what we got down in backstage, we got Precious G and Alice Blessed Child of God. Lady Star, if you see any of those comments, particularly referencing why they voted like that, star them so that when I get time, I'll be educated by them because I'm lost. Thank you so much, Yo Folks 3. I could add it over here. Looks like art imitating life, aka Good Times for Real. Yeah, but even the kids on Good Times, they didn't fall. They did have some infighting and falling out, but it wasn't. I mean, he wasn't rich back then. I mean, his character wasn't rich. I mean, I felt like they got along for the most part. It wasn't nothing like this. Okay, so we're gonna start off with. I'm gonna do basically a walk through the timeline for those because we'll have people in here tonight who are joining and at different stages of understanding this story. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit of backtracking, start us from where I got in tune with it, and then we'll work our way through to the most recent update as of today. So we're gonna start out with video of his daughter Shannon, who took to her social media about a week or so ago. Hold on, y'all, my computer's slowing down. She took to her social media about a week or so ago, and she did a live where she was saying that her father was a victim of elder abuse. And so we're gonna hear what she had to say about that and then move forward. Okay, I think this is it. Yep, this is the video. So take a look at this, and then I got another poll I'm putting up while this is playing. So you'll be voting at the same time.
I don't know how many of you saw my Facebook post yesterday, but I'm sure there's a lot of questions. For those of you who didn't, I'm about to share. I'm currently in Memphis, Tennessee. My dad is in the hospital here in Memphis. He was traveling on business, from what I understand, and he called me.
Oh, wait, y'all can't hear that? I hear the sound. TN Maven is saying the sound, as in, is there a problem with the sound for the video? Let me know. If so, I'll fix it. Chat's a little slower, so I'm going to wait till I get a response. We can hear just fine. So TN Maven, that is on your end, but thank you.
And
I'm going to start it over.
I don't know how many of you saw my Facebook post yesterday, but I'm sure there's a lot of questions. For those of you who didn't, I'm about to share. I'm currently in Memphis, Tennessee. My dad is in the hospital here in Memphis. He was traveling on business, from what I understand, and he called me and he called for help. And then we had a family member fly down to check on him because I was out of the country, and I got here as fast as I could. And in the last couple of weeks, as things have unfolded, we've learned that my father has been the victim of elder abuse and financial exploitation. And pretty much everything that was worth anything that was in his home is gone. It was really, really horrible. We're working with the Colorado Bureau of Investigations, the local county sheriff in Colorado where my dad lived. And it has been a really difficult time. I did a very emotional post yesterday on Facebook. I feel a little stronger today. He was up and talking today, which, touched my heart and gave me some hope. I'm still very upset and angry to know that there are people in the world that would do something like this to a senior citizen, to an older person. Especially if you know my dad, he'd give you the shirt off his back. He is one of the most generous people that I know, and he's always provided for his family, and this is devastating. We have a long road ahead of us. He no longer has home security, so we're going to have to find a safe place for him to live when he gets out of the hospital, and we're hopeful that he will. He's been in ICU, and I'm asking for your prayers, your love, your thoughts. It took me a lot to get out of my ego and out of my own way, and probably against my dad's best wishes because he's a very private person. But my family and I have pooled our resources, and we still need help. We need help. My dad is a very private person. He probably would not love that I have launched a GoFundMe campaign. We have so much that we have to deal with. We have to hire lawyers to pursue the suspects. I'm not at liberty yet because the Colorado Bureau of Investigations is involved, as well as the local sheriff's department. So I can't share too many details about who the perpetrators are. I can only say they were caregivers or a caregiver. And that's about all I can say about that right now. My dad is going to need extensive medical care and rehabilitation. We're going to have to relocate him into a safe space with long-term care. And we don't know how horrible yet the financial crimes were, but we know it's a lot. They look at these things like they're family crimes. So what our lawyers will be doing is actually putting together the case and bringing it to the police because, from what I'm learning, this has been going on for quite some time. And unfortunately, I was traveling and I had no idea that what I was going to see and what happened to my dad's home and all of those things would be part of our reality. I am heartbroken. I just want him to be safe and to be with the people who love him and who care about him. Because clearly these people had other interests and it wasn't my dad. He's 83 years old, and I think, like I said this on Facebook yesterday, the thing that hurts me the most is that anyone could have asked him for anything and he would give you the shirt off his back. And the fact that they stole from him and that they stole things from his home and, left him in those kind of conditions and dropped him off at a hospital, like, completely outrageous. Completely agree.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that was part of her live stream, and that's when she first came out about the situation. And then I'm gonna play a video of my first video on this, where I kind of give a quick overview of pretty much what happened from the point of this live that she did that we just watched, and what the response was coming from John Amos, John Amos camp, I guess, for lack of a better word. So let me pull this in for y'all. Oh, that's not something I'm pulling in. I'm screen sharing. Hold on. Bear with me. Here we go. So this is a quick overview. I'm not playing my whole video. It's just a couple, like 2 minutes or a minute or something. Well, it looks like things have taken quite a turn in the case of John Amos and the allegations of elder abuse that his daughter, Shannon Amos, claims that the 83-year-old actor has suffered. And this situation has been trending due to the claims by his daughter that now he is completely broke due to elder abuse and financial exploitation. And she has now set up a GoFundMe requesting $500,000 for his medical care and other expenses. However, when contacted directly himself by TMZ, John Amos stated that he is not a victim of elder abuse and says that he has no idea why his daughter would create a GoFundMe. And his daughter Shannon quickly responded on Instagram saying, "There's another side to this story." What's up, good people, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over celebrity news, trending topics, and everything in between that we care about. And before we get into this video, make sure to hold on, subscribe to this channel for more on this topic and many more. John Amos is the actor who is most known for his role as the father on Good Times. Technical difficulties. But so that's the overview of the situation. This is I was trying to find a window, the window with my notes, and yeah, showed you what I didn't want to show you. Anyway, so after she did that, then TMZ contacted John Amos, and he said that what his daughter was alleging was a flat out lie, and he didn't know why she did the GoFundMe. His son later put on his TikTok and his Instagram this post where it says the GoFundMe was not authorized by John Amos. Now, what he wasn't doing was denying anything about the abuse or anything like that. He was just saying, hey, he didn't authorize her to be able to do that. And so since then, he has been posting other videos, and one of which is, it's kind of like videos he's been posting to prove that his father is still in, or he's still in his father's good graces, etc. So he had one video he posted of him arriving to the hospital and his father's reaction. So this is to say, this stuff that my sister is saying is not true. Now, they're not saying each other's names from anything that I've seen so far. It's just a bunch of back and forth without mentioning each other's name, but we all know who they're talking about.
Baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
man, I'm so glad to see you. I don't know what to do, man.
Neither, man. Shit.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Woo.
You made it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
man, I'm so glad to see you. I don't know what to do, man.
Neither, man. Shit.
Boy, you made my day. You made my life. Were you all right?
Everything good, man.
Good.
I didn't want to come back here and say I went over there for no reason.
I got you.
So he's posted, KC, the son, has posted this after all this started to be like, don't do that. Don't act like my father, and we're not in good graces. My father loved me. Look at this. Let me record this. And so he recorded that greeting. It's very confusing. Who did I see? Hold on. I started to, let me see. It's so many people. I can't keep up with everybody now. Here we go. Inga said that this is sad. I don't know who to believe at this point. And to be honest, when this is all said and done, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to help us, because I'm feeling the same way even after this. But we got more. So we left off there. Then there have been all kind of social media, back and forth going out there and on other platforms besides theirs now. So there are people who are leaking information out to the bloggers. Don't know who these people are, but these seem to be people who are very close to the situation. So you have some sources are now saying that KC has control over all of John's social media and also what's happening behind the scenes. So the things that we don't see. I think that's fairly clear to most of us any of us who've like seen the TikTok videos, etc., that we can see that KC is with his father a lot, but you could also see that he's directing the situation. He's directing what we're looking at. And to me, it seems forced and cringy, but I'm different. So, and then they said another caregiver recently shared alleged photos of John's home while John was under his son's care. So I pulled those real quick. So they're big and chunky. Gonna block my face because I didn't have time to create the overlays. But these are allegedly photos from John Amos's house that were taken by a different caregiver, saying this is how the condition that KC, the son, left John's house in. So they're saying hefty bags filled with soiled diapers. So this looks like it's a bedroom, and very much so disarray. Looks a little hoarderish. They took a photo of the fridge showing that there's spoiled milk in the fridge. They took a picture of, this looks like this is just food laying on the, maybe this is on the counter, maybe it's a ceramic tile counter, but they're saying unsanitary conditions. So it looks like food has just been left out after being eaten, leftovers, etc. And then KC's famous dad was living in squalor under his son's care. So they took more pictures of, I guess that's still the bedroom. So that's, I'm seeing Sweet Diva saying who's wearing diapers. I'm assuming from that they're insinuating that John Amos is wearing diapers and they were just in the trash bag. I don't know. That hasn't been, I haven't seen that anywhere else to say if that's been confirmed or not. What else? And then they're also accusing KC, saying, now this part I don't know, because it's like it's too much. I don't know what to believe. They're saying allegedly John's family and close friends have not seen John in over a month, and KC monitors and records John's calls. I could believe that he's monitoring his calls and stuff. We're gonna see something else about that. But I'm like, he was just at the hospital. I'm not sure who the lady was when the son arrived, but from the sounds of it, the son hadn't been around. But there's also some things we're going to get into that seems like when all of this stuff started coming out from the sister, the son kind of went into hiding a little bit and wasn't around John as much. I don't know if it's just because he's in Memphis and maybe the son is somewhere else. I don't know. A lot of assumptions we're making at this point. I believe it's all going to come out in the end, though. So then this is the new stuff now. Now we got all that. I done caught y'all up as best I can. I know some of y'all still confused. And the reason you are is because I'm still confused too. So you got a confused person trying to inform confused people. So we're going to be confused together. Eventually, because y'all know how I roll over here, we're going to put all the pieces together and we're going to have a concise timeline. But right now, it's just a bunch of information. And I'm like, here you go. Look at it. And then we'll figure this out. I just threw the puzzle box at y'all. So we're going to search for the corner pieces together, and then we're going to put the corner of the puzzle together first, and then we'll fill in the inside. That's how you do a puzzle. So, okay, that's where it left off. So as of today, well, I don't know when it came out, but as of today, I saw that there is now audio, which appears to be John Amos's voice, where he can be heard giving details of his son's alleged substance abuse issues and situations of previous elder abuse that weren't done to John, but were done before John and to another family member. And there was conversation basically about an intervention. So I'm going to play that for y'all, and we're going to go from there. Let's see. Let me pull this in. And before I do, I'm going to close this poll out because I got another one coming for y'all. So the poll I asked earlier was, have you experienced family infighting over money or an estate of a loved one? 50. Oh, it's 50-50. I honestly thought it might be more, but in my life, the people around me, what I see is more like 80-20. 80% of the time there's fighting. It's like rare that I ever see these situations happen and there's no fighting. I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest. But this is good. This gives me some hope for humanity if that's just isolated to my crazy family. But anyway, I'm gonna get in trouble being on YouTube. Okay, so this is allegedly, so there was no video. That's not true. There was a video. I cut it out for copyright. There was a video, and all that you could see was it's obvious that someone secretly recorded John Amos. If this is him, I mean, their AI exists now. You can make people's voices up, but it sounds like him. The cadence is him. The details that's given, I'm gonna say it's definitely a real person. But there's only audio, and what it appears like in the video is that someone has their phone and they're recording the conversation, but they have their phone facing down towards maybe some kind of material, fabric of some sort. So maybe they got it in their lap, etc. Like they just holding it, but they were recording him, obviously secretly. So this, and what I did was just add photos and stuff on top of it just for our visual so y'all don't get bored. But here we go. Here is, and then I'm gonna put a poll up while y'all listening to this. This is about 5 minutes, I think, something like that.
So you're of the opinion that he's still using drugs and misusing me and my money. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is that what the essence of this is?
Yes.
Okay. Then he needs to be confronted. We need to find out the truth because all of us are laboring under the assumption that he is, and it may be justified. It may be the case. Let's determine if that is the case. Let's sit down as a family, get face to face, and let him off. And if he cries or curls up or don't want to meet with you or don't want to see you, and he doesn't, that's clear. He's hid in the back of the car rather than let his presence be known the other day when we came up here looking for whatever it was I needed. So that's got to be dealt with. This issue has got to be dealt with. Because there's no sense in you making plans to try and leave something for Jazz and Kiera if he's got plans to spend it all on himself and drugs and whatever else it is he's buying. That needs to be confirmed. And the confirmation would be best done by a doctor. Yes, he has cocaine in his system. Yes, he's using. I see evidence of habitual use. And then that's it. I'm through with it. It's got to be in the hands of professionals. Because I saw him admit that he had misused your mother's money and her estate planning for his own benefit, buying this and that and whatever else he was buying. So he admitted it finally. I asked him one day, I said, did you misuse your mother's money? That's what you're being accused of. He dropped his head. He said, yes, I was. I thought that was the end of it in terms of misusing her money, that everybody was aware and that steps had been taken to stop him from doing that, however he was doing it. Now I'm being told, no, he hasn't stopped. He's still misusing it, still misusing drugs, misusing your money now. And the only way to stop it is to have a confrontation. I'm not going to bring no priest in and pray and all of that. Come in here and sit down, man. Tell me. Because I have asked him in the last couple of weeks, I said, are you using again? He said, no, Pop, I'm smoking, but I'm not using. So I said, well, but an addict can't smoke. I'm not here to argue with you as to who can do what, Shannon. I'm just stating facts, as you did and as I listened for as long as you talk. All I'm doing is just stating facts. So the only thing I propose to do is, he's at his motel or in his room at the motel. Go get him, bring him here, and let's have this conversation with the whole family. It's gotta happen. It can't go on. It can't continue. I don't have no family life now. You come as bad as I want to be with Bill and you and Kiera. Sit out in the car to 3 and 4 in the morning. At my age, 81 years old, sitting on this car. Excuse me, Kiera, and you know, for using profanity as I talk to you. What the hell? I said, I come in here, I can't sleep. All I can do is watch TV. Get up in the morning, 5 and 6 in the morning, you can't sleep. Drive down to Willie's. That's my day. I said, I didn't want my life to be like this. Not here in Colorado. What am I running and hiding for? When the do I get some peace?
And that was literally how it ended. And just that part, when I heard it, I was like, oh, Lord, that just made my heart drop, because the situation as a whole is sad, of course, but you hear his pain in that too. Like, he just wants to love on and enjoy his family in his last, you know, his golden years. And they're putting him through this, you know, the person who's trying to steal his money and all of this stuff. And the fact that, you know, he was obviously secretly recorded. In the poll, 62 of you have voted and said, when I said, do you agree with Shannon or the other family member? I had to cut this short because of character limits. But anyway, the family member secretly recording John to talk about his son. Do you agree with it? 59% of you say yes. And 41%, or it just changed, but basically 58%, 41% said no. Because of how this has started to go, I don't blame her, to be honest, because her name, like the last video I did, or I think the last live stream we did, where I kind of went over the update at that point from my original video, the majority of people thought she was calling her a scammer and all these other things and saying she was just after his money. And if that's not the case, I could see her saying, hey, I got to prove my innocence. So I got to go ahead and let some of this out to prove my innocence. I saw some people saying that they thought he was reading from a script. It did not sound like a script to me, because it seemed very freeform, him slipping with the F-bombs and apologizing to, I'm assuming he was apologizing to the granddaughter, because what it sounded like was it was Shannon in the room and another young lady. And I'm just, again, assuming and all that, but I was assuming like this is maybe his granddaughter, and that's why he apologized even just to her for cursing. But even him telling Shannon, like, let me talk. I just let you go on until you were done, giving your rundown of why your brother is so bad and what he's supposedly doing to me that I don't know about. So you could tell it was a real conversation. She didn't, well, at least in the what's floating around, it wasn't a part of the conversation where she poured out everything to say, hey, Dad, this is what's happening. Casey robbing you blind and doing all these things, because he seems to be unaware. And that's where it starts with him saying, so you're trying to tell me that this is happening? Well, from my perspective, I don't see that. But if this is true, because he's not saying it's not true in that video, in that audio, he's saying if that is true, we need to then call him to the carpet, have a family meeting, not this you and I talking in secrecy and he talking about let's do it together. And if he's still on some substances, which he's saying in there, his son has been on substances, that we need to, and he said, get a doctor involved. So basically he's saying, let's test this ninja. We ain't gonna even go on his words. Let's test him now. Because I just talked to him, what he said a week or so ago, and he said he not own nothing no more. He just smoke, meaning, and from what I gather, he was talking about marijuana, I'm assuming. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. And we're not done. So I'm gonna put this poll up. I'm going to the next part of this, but I'm just put this up because I'm curious at the actual percentage. Y'all know I'm a nerd, so I'm curious of the actual percentage of you guys who think or may think that this was fake. Hold on, where's my paste? There we go. Do you think that's a real audio, or you think it's made up? So some of you think it's scripted. So if you think it's scripted, just go with no, meaning you don't think it's real. Let's see. Oh, and so the other piece of it that got mentioned in that, again, that's why I don't think this was scripted, because why would John Amos read these sort of things? Now, I will say when I first started listening to it this morning, I was trying to listen with a critical mind, like open but critical mind. Like, okay, this could be fake. I know how the internet works. I know AI is out there now, so we got to really be careful with when you think you hearing somebody's voice. But so for one of my thoughts was, this might be a movie script. Like it could be someone recorded him in some movie that he was in, and it could have a similar tone to it, and they used it to make it like it's a part of this, just for clickbait. So I was listening, but then it got so specific and even got to talking about the mom and the mom's estate and her, and what the brother did to that. Then I was like, okay, this is real. That was one of the pieces. So there was even more information out online about the mother piece alone. Again, we ain't even talking about John no more. We talking about the history of KC. Let me pull up these pictures for y'all. This is deep, y'all. Again, I'm just throwing y'all the puzzle box. We're putting these corner pieces together first, and then we're going to fill in the middle at another date in the future, because I ain't got no real answers for y'all. I'm just giving y'all what's out here. Hold on. So what am I pulling? So there are photos out there where they are saying that this was, hold on, y'all. I think this is it. Oh, this is the viewer discretion part of it. So if you're sensitive to, I'm saying Patty 4930. Yes, the mom is deceased. So she's no longer with us. Yes, Patty, she's deceased. Oh, yeah. So this is the viewer discretion piece of it. So if you're sensitive to certain images, close your eyes. You can listen, though. You can listen, but close your eyes, and I'll let you know when you can open them back up. Now, close your eyes. Uh-oh, that ain't even the right picture. Hold on, y'all. I can't see. They so small on this side. Hold on. Give me a minute. Did I pull it in? Maybe I didn't pull it in. Oh, no, here it is. There we go. Okay, so this is an image of, allegedly, an image of their mother prior to her passing away. She had some kind of medical malpractice situation that caused her to be becoming in, I don't know details, like this is all new information, but incapacitated to some degree, physically disabled to some degree. At some point, KC was her caregiver and her power of attorney, which he allegedly is also the power of attorney for John now, for his father. So they're saying while he was the power of attorney for his mom and her primary caregiver, he neglected her, left her in her house and ran the streets, and I guess was on doing all that too, to the point that her body atrophied. And that's why her limbs her arms and stuff are folded, because he wasn't moving her. He wasn't. Any of you who have experience and know anything like about this stuff know that if someone is bedridden and stuff, you still have to move their bodies and stuff. They're going to get bed sores, but their joints and stuff can atrophy, which is what they're showing. So this is, I think, in her final days, etc. This is floating on the internet. Vail ain't I ain't went nowhere and investigated. I went on Google. But so this was the state that the mom was in. And for those of you who have your eyes closed, you can open them now. So that was the condition that the mom was in. And on top of that, he then ran through her money, ran through the whatever. I don't know how much she had. I don't know if they were, I'm assuming, I guess they were divorced. I haven't looked that deep into this yet, but I will. But anyway, so he, again, in the audio that we just listened to, John said he asked his son if he did it, and his son said, "Hey," put his head down and said yes, that he did it. So the confusing part, though, is that all of this, and I'm assuming this conversation that was secretly recorded that we just listened to, I'm assuming this happened prior to John's interview with TMZ, where he said his daughter's a liar. So this got me saying either John is, as his daughter said, a prideful man. John, he looks like my father, to be honest, my father and uncles and stuff. And I can see that same energy, that same old school energy. And I know that none of them would want their business out in these internet public streets either. And they would deny and lie to the public too. Be like, she lying. Get out of our business. She lying. Whatever it takes to get y'all out of our business. So it makes me wonder if what he told TMZ is true or not true, I should say. Or the other question I've had is, what is his mental state? And I know people are looking at, because he does look lucid for the most part. To me, some of the videos, he looks a little out of it. But for the most part, he looks lucid in most of the videos you see. He's still able to communicate. He's articulate, all that good stuff. But it makes me wonder, because dementia shows up. It does waves, especially in the beginning, when the onset of it. And so are these moments where we're seeing these videos where he seems to be able to communicate well and seems to have all his wits about him, are these peak moments? And are we not seeing the valley moments where his son might be taking advantage of him because of the fact that he's not as lucid? Again, this is all assumption. This is us putting puzzle pieces together, still trying to figure it out. I don't know for a fact. I'm in this poll and I'm gonna throw that one out there. Do you think the audio is real? 87% of you think yes. 13% of you think either it's not real or it's scripted. We'll see. Time will tell. We will definitely, I believe, get the answer for that in the future. I don't know for sure. My assumption, based on the limited knowledge that I have, is that it is definitely real, in my opinion. Also, the next question in the poll is, do you think that John Amos may be suffering from dementia? Dementia or any other mental, anything mentally that could be inhibiting his ability to know what's going on all the time consistently? Because it just seems very off, like what I'm saying. It seems like, okay, now we just heard that audio that many of us think is real. What was it? 87% of us think is real. So it's like, okay, 1 minute you're saying this, then you telling TMZ your daughter's a liar, but we got audio of you saying just what she's telling us. The other piece is we go from that to KC is clapping back online, basically telling all of us who are like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that to his father. And we're, those of us who are going down the path like, oh, it looked like where there's smoke, there's fire, and she may not be lying at all. He's saying that, hold on, here we go. One of his posts is many aspects to this. I'm sorry, my eyes, and it's going to pop up on my big screen in a minute, hopefully, in a second, hopefully. Nope, it's way delayed. That means y'all way delayed, further delayed than it's about to pop up now. That's a long time. Here we go. So I can read it up here. Many aspects to this. If you have came to a quick conclusion, there is still time to change the road you're on. So that's to us, those of us who believe that he may be guilty of what he's been accused of. He's saying that we've come to quick conclusions. I feel like I got enough stuff to work with for my conclusions, but okay. And he's saying that we still have time to change the road we're on. So if we think he's guilty, we still got time. And then in his caption, he says, there is time to change the road you're on. We still learn more each day. So it's surprising how many people have more hard facts than us. And then he does the shrugging emoji. Then he does hashtag FraudTownUSA, hashtag check a flick. I don't know what that means. Hashtag fall 2023. I wonder, is that a movie? Because he's supposed to be a producer or something, or a filmmaker. I'm wondering if he's advertising. And then hashtag learn on TikTok. I don't know. He knows how to work the social media stuff too. I noticed that. So he posts that, and that's actually a video as well. So it's this post, but then when you click on it, there's an actual video. And this is where my mind was like, so let's look at this together, and y'all can let me know what y'all think, how y'all mind feel after this. So again, this is recent. This was, did he post that today or 3 days ago? One of them, I forgot, but very recent. So what I'm about to show you has been one of the most recent posts from him regarding his father. Here we go.
Do for you, and then I can tell you tell me what the issue is, what problems you're experiencing. Well, just tell me what the issue is, what problems you're experiencing legally, and what you would like us to do for you, and then I can tell you what we can do, what we can't do, and how long it'll take or how short it'll take.
Okay. I'm an 83-year-old man, and I have 2 children. My son is here with me in the hospital in Memphis. He's at my bedside, and I'm not in the hospital as a result of anything that happened recently, other than the fact that about a month ago I was hospitalized because I was suffering from
water retention.
And
I don't want to forget to say that part. Now, y'all see how he's feeding him. Like, you can tell John is used to depending on his son for information. To me, that was at least a red flag for me. Not saying that older people don't forget those things, but it just points to the directing that the son does in general in his life.
Water retention,
and a couple of other issues, all of which have been corrected or at least addressed. I have very capable and I'm very confident in the doctors that I have here and the medical staff that my son has assembled around me, so I feel really good about that. My main issues are that I feel that I was, prior to entering the hospital, I had some ongoing issues with my daughter, who I feel has taken advantage of me, and she would be the primary suspect, if you would. I don't know if that's the right term to use or not, but she's the one that I would attribute my elderly abuse to, and it's definitely a case of elderly abuse because, as I said.
So even him using, and I'm saying we're going to get to the comments next. I only got one. Oh, I don't really have nothing. Close this out, and then we're going to get to the comments. But I'm seeing, I saw somebody saying that now this is scripted. Shaquila Smith saying now this is scripted, and that's, and but I see Donna Hammond saying, and star these for me, ladies, backstage, but that you don't see this as directed in that way. I agree with you, but what I'm speaking to is the energy around it, not so much the actual action, but the energy around it, in addition to, because I'm not basing it just on this particular video. I'm basing it on all the other stuff that I've seen on TikTok and all the other social media platforms that his son has posted, where it seems like you can tell that the son is always producing the situation. And so this feels, again, like producing the situation. Somebody else said, I'll just be scanning the chat sometimes, so I don't always see your name at the same time or don't remember it. But somebody else was saying, we don't know what the son said prior to that call starting or even leading up to that to rehearse him, so to speak. Anyway, well, I'll get to y'all comments because I see y'all talking about a lot of these pieces of it. But closing out this poll, the last poll was, do you think that John Amos may be suffering from dementia? 70% of y'all say yes. So I'm assuming that the 70% have maybe some experience or have seen this or study it, or professionals, et cetera, and I have seen this. I know people have friends who are experiencing this with parents, have friends who have experienced it with parents who passed away, etc. And what I know about it is it can look perfectly fine 1 minute and be something totally different the next. And so that's why these lucid moments where he's on it don't mean that dementia don't exist, and doesn't mean that his son isn't programming him, so to speak. Mainly, again, because now we even got the audio of John Amos himself saying his son is, substance abuse, took advantage of his mom. This is the same situation. It looks the same. You got a parent with a estate and money, and they're ill, and you're their primary caregiver and their power of attorney. Okay, that's all I gotta say about it. Okay, but I'm gonna throw in this other poll while we get into our comments, and y'all can answer as I'm reading through the comments. And that's about all I have. Like, I don't know anything more right now. But we'll definitely be back. Like, we can tell this is just gearing up. Fortunately, probably tomorrow, probably something new out, especially the way this is going. Okay, so the new poll is: do you think the son is exploiting John Amos? And what I mean by that is not even only this part of what we just watched the video, but even in general, like the way that he's on TikTok having this 83-year-old singing songs and doing things that are just cringeworthy to me. But that's just me. All right, so I'm not probably going to read as many names because my brain is. For those of you who don't know, I was fasting. I fasted for 38 hours until just like a couple hours ago. I'm off my fast now, and then I'll go right back into fasting after 24 hours. So my body's doing all kind of stuff, but my brain is a little foggy still. So I ain't gonna really be reading names because I'll be messing them up. That's all I'm saying. My brain ain't all the way there still. Where did I keep disappear? Wait, am I doing that or y'all doing that? Okay, so Renalda, and thank you for viewing from Facebook. I appreciate you. And it's a new name. They're definitely going to have to go to family court about his care and what. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And well, maybe criminal court first if they make it to family court, because she's saying that she has the police involved, or they're investigating. So we'll see. And at first she was saying caregivers, and then she just cleared up. She said, or caregiver. Like, so I don't know if it's just him. Says Marnie says son KC is a little eccentric. He has said in his Instagram post that he has money on his head. He asked a stranger if he could ride his bike. The stranger said no. KC has some stuff going on. Yeah, I think that's clear. Like, even when you look at his TikTok videos, they are eccentric. The one I just watched today, for research purposes, I still ain't even bothered to follow him. I'm just researching. But he's like filming a hearse, like an old school hearse, and like a funeral car. And he then is like playing, I forgot, one of those old spooky horror movie songs. And then he's just walking past the car. And I'm like, I don't know if this is his car or it was an old one. I don't know what's happening. It's very confusing. He is very eccentric for sure. Oh, okay. I'm trying to enter plethora of afro. I was trying to figure out what this meant, and then I was like, oh, this is from earlier. 5%. You basically, you're saying you voted 5% just because you don't want to believe it. That ain't how the poll work. But thank you for voting. But okay, so now that makes sense. So we got the outliers, people who are like, I just don't want to believe it. It's too much for my head. I'm just saying no. I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's so sad. Carolyn Chamberlain, thank you so much, friend, for the super chat. I really appreciate you. You always have great content. I appreciate you, friend. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. One of my ride or dies. I really appreciate you. Day one of the day ones. Robinson Smith says, I think it could be both shady. I voted no. Oh, you think basically that they both could be shady, so that's why you voted no. Okay, because like you ain't taking a side, you like both y'all effed up. I get it. Okay, I'm with you. And honestly, on some level, I'm like, I don't know if the daughter's completely innocent. But it looks like she just kind of, and again, I did the more deep dive in the pre-recorded video where I talked about how she's gone on a holistic journey, traveling the world, healing and, you know, talking to the sun and stuff. So, and I'm all for that. I believe in holistic, you know, all that. But that's what her life is about. And she washing people's feet and all that, all in her Instagram. So I believe that she kind of abandoned her family on her own journey. And in that way, I hope this is not because I'm getting a low signal. It looked like it's fine up on y'all's side, but I'm getting a low signal alert over here. So I'm hoping my internet ain't acting up. But anyway, so she abandoned the father, and if she's been so checked out, and knowing that her brother had, I'm sure this substance abuse stuff ain't brand new. So if you knew that was happening and you just left and haven't come back to check on your father, and now you come back and he's living in squalor, and you know, I guess she's trying to say all his money gone if she asked him for $500,000, because on Google it was saying, or at least something I ran across, I haven't done deep research, but something I ran across said that John was worth $2.5 million. So if she's asking for $500,000 in a GoFundMe, you're telling me that he is completely broke at this point. That's the GoFundMe. I meant to check before I got on live to see where it's at now, but I haven't. If any of you feel like it or got an extra finger, if you could run over to the GoFundMe and see how much she's raised as of now, because what I'm curious of, the geek in me, the statistical mind, is now that the story's changing or shifting the narrative, that now not as many people are looking at her as the guilty party, more are started looking at KC as the guilty party. I'm wondering if the GoFundMe amount is increasing by leaps and bounds, because the last time I looked, a few days ago, it was at $12,500 some odd dollars when the request was for $500,000, which was very low, you know. But I'm just curious if it's still up, but if it's still up, also how much they have raised thus far, or she has. Okay, read that one. Okay, I read that one on my own. Let's see. Very true, Deborah Tab. We as outsiders will never know the full truth. I agree. We're just spectators. Lorna Wilson says, very suspicious regarding the John Amos situation. I feel like greed is the biggest factor in the scenario. Prayers up for John Amos. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so it's increased a little bit, not much at all. Because like I said, what this little screenshot I did has $12,561. This is only $13,221. Thanks so much, Alice, Ray, so far. Y'all ain't buying it. The public still ain't buying it. They still like, y'all ain't getting my money with this foolishness. Like, we gotta, and John is telling various versions of the story. So we went from him having secret conversations with his daughter. Well, he was having family meetings with his daughter that got recorded and now put out in public. He went from that to talking to TMZ and saying she's a liar. From that to now he's on TikTok with his son recording him talking to supposedly an attorney. Like, we don't even know if that's real. I don't know. A lot of stunts and tricks going on here, people. A lot of stunts and tricks. Let's see. We got a lot of comments, so I'm gonna read them. Probably, we'll see. I'll see how many I can get through, because there are 51 star comments. We're done. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Just star as many as you want to star. Just make sure they're like you know, things not just necessarily commentary, but like questions and stuff, or something, something I can commentate on. I'll put it that way, because we got a lot of comments. Miss Wilson saying everyone is different, but she said find a place for him. Mama, that's your dad. Why can't he live with you? Well, Miss Wilson, and I don't know, maybe, well, it's probably, you commented this before I said, she's been traveling the world for the past few years, so she's not settled. She travels everywhere, and so I think she spends maybe a month or two here, and you know, a few weeks there, and doing all these retreats and all of that. Like when you go on her Instagram, you see that she does a lot of holistic retreats with other women of all races, etc. You see her feeding goats and people twirling with the material, like the what they call it, rainbow material and stuff, dancing. And saw her, like I said, washing somebody's feet, you know, like Jesus, people wash feet in the Bible and all that stuff. That's a way of well, I forgot what, don't give me the, again, my brain fried. I know what it means, but I can't think off the top of my head. But she washing people's feet for spiritual reasons. Y'all know about that. Those of y'all who know. If you don't worry about it. But yeah, so I could see that being why she hasn't, why that may not be an option, because she's not really, she's on her soul journey and she ain't trying to get that up. I read that and I thought I unstart that. Okay, Renee S is saying, I work in a nursing home and I'm trying my best to put my bias aside. I'm wondering what that means. Like when you say you're biased, what does that mean? And yeah, I don't know what that means, Renee. Like in the sense of his care, like it could be better, or I don't know. I don't know what that means. GoFundMe goal is, yeah. The GoFundMe goal is 500K, and Colorado police investigating. Yes, yes. Tay-Tay is done with Tay-Tay is done with their investigation. Tay-Tay says, I'm calling it now. It's the son. I'm still, you know, I'm leaning towards that for sure. However, I am one that knows that I will reserve the jury's still out until there's a final call on this sort of things. I know how these things work. That we may get some new bombshell might come out tomorrow that just blows this whole thing up. It'd be some outside child that we didn't even know existed that tells on both of them. You just never know. Pink Pearl says, right now, I think it's the son too. I'm just confused with the GoFundMe. Well, did I put that? Oh, that was a poll I didn't do. Okay, let me close this one out. That was the last, because I was like, I know I had a poll asking y'all that, because I was torn with the goal. I'm not really torn. I think it was not a good idea, but I could kind of see why she, if this is real, I could see why she might have felt like I got to do something and I got to do this quick kind of thing. But it's understanding the public opinion, court of public opinion, it was just not a good idea. Social media and all that was not a good idea. It would have been a better idea to let this play out, call him out, let him get aired out if this is the case. And then when everyone sees, oh my God, his son did all this to him and it's real and the son is, you know, fighting it in court or whatever, or convicted, then do the GoFundMe, because people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been proven that his son did that. Do you think that the son is exploiting John Amos? 90% of y'all said yes. I agree with y'all, but I'm surprised that many agree that he's being exploited. Okay, last poll, and then I'm gonna keep reading comments, but I'm gonna throw this out here for y'all because I'm curious about this GoFundMe, how y'all feel about the GoFundMe as well, and as a whole. I hope it ain't too wordy. I gotta watch that in the future. Yep, it is too wordy. Hold on. I'm trying to edit in my head real quick. I'm like, I got y'all waiting. I got a couple hundred people waiting. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hold on, I'm skimming the comments just to make sure it's something I can commentate on. Okay, here we go. I'm suspicious of everybody at this point. I don't know what to believe. I want to go pick up John Amos myself and bring him back to my house and take care of him because this is ridiculous and sad. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm hoping that if this is what Shannon is saying it is, that some other caring family member will take over. Slate girls is saying sad. I'll never understand how a child can mistreat their elderly parent. Honor thy mother and father. Prayers for John Amos. Yeah, I mean, people do raise narcissistic children who become adults and they stay narcissistic. And so that's a lot of why and when it happens, to be honest. It happens more than it should. Like I see it a lot. I've heard a lot of stories and I've seen it a lot. For me, I'm always praying that it's not going to be the case. Okay, let's see. So the son has a history of this. Shaking my head. Looks like the writing is on the wall. Yeah, I mean, it looks that way at this point that it's clear that the son has, again, the son admitted to, at least from John's audio recording, admitted to taking advantage of his mother financially, and he's been accused of also neglecting her physically. And we saw photos, and that's, I don't know, to me, that looks like, unless she had cerebral palsy or something like that, that looks like obvious neglect for the body to start to curl up like that. But, I forgot who said they, I didn't really forget, but my brain is fried, so I can't think of your name real quick. But our VPO who works in the nursing facility was saying that basically they're torn with the whole situation. I'm sure that they know from looking at that picture that that's not normal. While your parents are in their right mind, please encourage them to do power of attorney and living will. Well, Pink Pearl, I definitely agree with you, Pink Pearls. However, that doesn't protect them if they put the wrong person in charge. And that looks like that is potentially what this situation is. And I've seen that happen in real life as well. Literally, they're saying that the son has the power of attorney, I think is why the Shannon, the daughter, has gone to the extent that she has to bring it to the public, because her hands are tied because she's going against the power of attorney. So now, in order to get that reversed, and I guess John might not be, if he does have dementia or something, may not be in a position to be able to end it. So it looks like she's taking it to the court of public opinion as well as police, etc., to try to get him removed as the power of attorney, so that someone, whether it's her or whoever else, can be put in charge of it and take care of him properly. But I agree with you. But the key is also to make sure it's the right person who ends up receiving that power. Diamond Heart is saying sometimes a secret recording is the only way if she's really trying to prove genuine elderly abuse. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel like if this is real, I'm like, you have to do what you have to do. I'm not necessarily for like just running around secretly recording people for ish and giggles. But in important situations like this, if it's life changing, to improve someone's life, then I'm like, I shrug it off. Like, you had to do what you had to do. And then she did say that she knows that she's gonna go forward with all of this, whether her father likes it or not. And to me, when she even said that, to me, it's like, I'm gonna do this even if you don't like it, because I know what's in your best interest because I'm doing what's in your best interest, even though you don't realize it, which makes me think that he may not fully be at 100% capacity, you know, the way that he once was. But again, all speculation on my part, and I don't know nobody. I don't know nothing about nothing. Tay, if you're dealing with a manipulative addict, you have to protect yourself. And that's a great point, Tay. Like, if he is, in fact, we know he was, if he still is, or let's just say if he still is, we know, those of us who know how manipulative addicts can be. They train to become manipulative to be able to get their fixes. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to manipulate this. Like, he's even created this facade of, look at how well I take care of my father, so much so that I'm constantly doing it on social media, so that the initial thought, and I saw people saying when this first came out, oh, he's always taking care of his father. You never see her. He's really there with her, with him. That's part of the manipulation of an addict, to give the appearance that they're doing what they should be doing. What's actually happening in real life, that's another story. If he did this to his mom, why give him access to his dad's money? So I would assume, based on the recording that we listened to, if John was saying himself in the recording, I just asked him, basically he was referencing like he just had recently asked the son about if he had if he truly had been doing what people accused him of, financially taking advantage of his mom. And he said he admitted it. It didn't sound like he knew it to be fact. It was like, I've been hearing, people been telling me, now I'm asking you myself, versus, which means to me he didn't know about it before his son got put in charge of things. Because had he known about it, he wouldn't be still asking the question. He'd be like, and remember when you, or I was talking to him about when he did that to his mama. And I don't see him being in his right mind and knowing that his son did it to his mom, and his son is admitting it, and then he put him in charge of his stuff. But it also seems odd that John Amos in the recording says that his son admitted to doing that to his mom, and yet John Amos doesn't think that he would do it to him still, to the point that he, again, because we don't know whether manipulation is happening or if it's happening, but he's now just days, you know, as of a day or two ago, on a call with an attorney, attacking his daughter once again. I don't know. It's crazy, y'all. It's again, I'm confused. We're all confused. I'm trying to figure out what you said. That's such a narcissistic response to gaslighting. Oh, you know what? You're probably talking about the post that I put up with him saying, basically, we're jumping to conclusions and we still have time to change our minds. Yes, that's true gaslighting. You're right. I think that's what you're talking about. That's true gaslighting. Alice is saying no one should be abused, but I believe there's a special place in hell for anyone who abuses children and elderly people. I believe that too, honestly. Those of our most vulnerable communities. This is just too much to figure out, and I'm fasting. I can't think about this. How do you think I feel, Precious, and I'm in front of an audience of a couple hundred people? I'm like, I don't know. I can't quite communicate this the way that I would normally communicate to y'all, because it's like, it's just too much happening. I'm like, even with my notes, I felt like I don't understand enough to share with y'all what's really happening, but I'm like, I'm just getting y'all the timeline, and we're gonna come back to it as the pieces come together. He sounds guilty. That's him trying to manipulate the narrative. Yeah. Y'all all seeing right through that post as well. Right. I think I might have read this, or somebody else said this. D Jackson, we don't know what the son told him before he started recording. So right, when the son was recording, KC was recording John Amos talking to that attorney, he started it with the attorney saying, okay, well, give me the story and then I can let you know from there what we can do, blah, blah, blah. And then John just started talking. We don't know what information the son fed him. And then, that was the other piece I noticed in that. John Amos said, and I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with the hospital I'm in and the service I'm getting and the team that my son has put around me, which again shows that he's orchestrating everything around John Amos. And so if John is just not 100% there, he's not knowing that. But he's also, it's like Stockholm syndrome. It does exist that people can fall in, well, it's his son, so understand where I'm going, follow me. But people can fall in love with, for lack of a better word, their abuser and see their abuser as a source of safety, etc. That's just how the mind works, because it's like love bombing. So although you're abusing me on this hand, you're also the first person who's here if I need something technically, or you're the person who gives me the most attention, but yet you stealing from me at the same time and got me living in squalor. You know, it's a lot. It's psychological. It's a lot happening here, y'all. Yeah, for Veronica Forever, he needs a court-appointed legal representative. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that would be the best next step. And hopefully, like she's claiming he's completely broken, needs $500,000 to survive. We don't know what his bank account really is looking like. And the truth is, does he know? Like, is he going off what his son is telling him he got left? Does he have a manager, a financial manager who's helping him take care of all of that? You know, I don't know. Donna Hanneman is saying, I don't see it as directing in that way, but rather reminding us. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah. You see it as reminding. I was saying I was looking at big picture, not just that particular video, but overall his the way he's controlling John Amos. Patty is saying, at this point, I don't trust either of them. Yeah, I don't know who to trust at this point. If there's a PO, power of attorney, the son, and if the attorney gets involved, they will get him to have an assessment of his mental capacities. Yes, so I mean, I guess it has to be taken serious enough, because if the son is the power of attorney, the son just gets to do what he wants to do until someone takes it serious enough for the courts to get involved to force all these other triggers to happen. Wow, how can she abuse him if she lives out of the country? I don't know what that's in context to, because no one's accusing her of abuse, but I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. I think that's the same person. How is she a suspect when she was out of the country? She's not a suspect. I think, I don't know. I think it might be some confusion, D Jackson. She's not considered a suspect, with the exception of some people think that she may be scamming because she created the GoFundMe. Not only is she accusing her brother of elder abuse, financial crimes, etc., she also started to GoFundMe. So that started to make people question her intentions and start to think, is she a scammer who runs across the world and she running out of money and now she want to scam the public using her father's name, take that $500,000 to basically fund the rest of her voyages around the world. So it's more of a people suspecting her being a scammer, but not like a suspect of doing anything directly to John Amos, because she hasn't been here to do it or been there to do it. The brother had to tell him, the attorney, that she was abusing him. The brother had him tell the attorney that she was. Oh, yes. Okay. The wording that he used. I took that loosely, kind of like in the sense of what's happening now, like an emotional abuse. That's how I took it, because again, she hasn't been around him physically to do anything else but besides emotional abuse. So that's kind of how I took it. But it seemed like they had a great relationship up until now. She had videos as recent as November, but I think there may be a couple others where she was FaceTiming. She did, like, there was a video where she was in Colorado with him and they did a daddy-daughter dance. And let me see if I got that. I know that I showed y'all that in another video, but I'm not sure if it's in. Yep, it's right here. Oh, nope, that's not it. No, I don't have it. I don't have it handy. But anyway, they did a daddy-daughter dance to Luther's Dance with My Father song. So they had a relationship, but she lived far away. So I think, again, it's more of the accusing of emotional abuse, not anything else. And then, of course, the coaching, because he's like, it's also, again, gaslighting, because y'all done noticed that based on these comments. It's KC feeding John words to use, and they're the same words that his sister has used to describe him. So it's just gaslighting. Right. Exactly. This matches basically what I was just saying. The son is on damage control. So part of that damage control is the video he just did. Who knows? That could have been his friend. That could have been Casey's friend. It probably was a real attorney. Don't mean he's going to hire the attorney, because that's a consultation, obviously, over the phone happening. That don't mean that anything will be pursued whatsoever. And people will do things like that. That's just like someone sending you a cease and desist to try to scare you into being quiet, but they ain't really gonna do nothing because they really can't. But they're hoping you're not smart enough to know that they can't do anything. And I feel like him dialing up an attorney and having his father say what he said on camera is supposed to scare the sister into, like, going away. Go your ass back to Bali. Like, go pray at the sun. Get out of face and let me keep scamming our dad. So I feel like that's what's happening there. But we'll see. Again, time will tell. Does he know he's being recorded and posted on social media? Yeah, John seems to be very aware that he's being recorded. He knows that it's going on social media. I don't know how much he understands it all as an 83-year-old, but he definitely knows that it's going out there to the public. Yeah, I'm not sure, Tay. You're saying, I'm sure Mr. Amos doesn't know pics and videos of him are out in the hospital or out there. I don't know, because the son is always recording him too quite a bit. So I don't know. I don't know. Somebody was holding, because it wasn't the son holding the phone, the camera. I don't know who was holding that, but he definitely, you know what, in that. But no, there's another video where he's actually recorded in the hospital, sitting in his hospital chair, and he's talking to somebody. But I feel like he was talking to a friend, saying something like "see you soon" or "miss you" or something like that. So again, I don't know. He might have thought it was FaceTime and the son put it on TikTok. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Chef Finest Wine is saying, where does the money go? Well, so even John in the recording said, you know, he's spending the money while so basically John was alluding to drugs or whatever else he's into. So I don't know, traveling. It doesn't look like he's not flashy, so you don't see it in like him wearing the money. But I'm not sure. I think he even mentioned cars and stuff. So I'm not sure if he's really into cars and all that. Who knows? But mostly probably drugs. Drugs and travel. He travels a lot. He does travel a lot. You can see that. And traveling can get very expensive. So I just ended the post. Says, was it a good idea for his daughter Shannon to start the GoFundMe on her father's behalf? 74% of you said no. 25% said yes. yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm not saying that it should have never been started. I think this time period, not at all, because y'all got to, figure out some stuff first. But I think that's it. A lot of the comments I'm seeing are kind of repetitive, so I'm gonna end it there. We got an hour and a half. I ain't want to go too long, hold y'all too late. But I appreciate all of you for watching this evening, and we will definitely be following this story and many more. So if you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and there's plenty more to come. I got a lot of pre-recorded stuff that I'm working on that's taking me a little while, but we definitely got some fire content coming as well. And I'm gonna send you all out. Oh, thank you to all of my moderators. Thank you to everyone who sent super chats, Zales, or anything like that. And shout out to my front end moderators, Marianne Coker, Alice, and Donna, Marianne, Don, and anyone else. Oh, Chef Fine His Wine, and anyone else that I may be missing. I was just scrolling through real quick. And I'm gonna send y'all out with this, and I will see you all in the next video. And don't forget about the Reality Chronicles channel. So that link pinned at the top of the chat is where you can find my other channel and other places you can follow me on social media. So with that, y'all enjoy y'all Thursday night, and I will see y'all very soon. Peace.
With my eyes closed, it's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still trying to fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like chemo. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Trying to earn 8 stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a keto. And exposed to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route, that seen it. And I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man.
I actually interviewed Darius Cooks on my radio show. Might have been 5 or 6 years ago before he blew up on social media. And Justice was just articulate. He actually went on Periscope Live during the radio show and did his own show in the studio during the show that he was supposed to be on. But he's a narcissistic individual. And because of that, he's had many of these run-ins. I think there was a scandal a few years ago where he was doing fake credit repair for people and got sued. His restaurant got closed down, those sorts of things. So he maintains these online scams, preying on the hearts and minds of his followers. And even just was just articulated after our show, because we tend to ridicule people when they act up on our show. show. He actually went on Periscope Live to talk about me and our producer and some of the other guests after the show. So this has been going on for a long period of time. Now, legally, when somebody talks about you online, that's just talk. But once they get into the place of making threats, either violence, threatening to release personal information, well, that's where you can actually file a criminal report against this individual. And if they do release improper or censored information, personal information that is privileged, that absolutely you can report that to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or to the Federal Bureau of Investigations for them to look into it, particularly if you have multiple individuals who are involved in this.